Everyone thinks ancient Egypt was about glory, gods, and gold. But what if I told you, beneath that perfection, priests were hiding a secret so dark, even their gods turned away? The temple virgins weren't sacred brides of the divine, they were victims of rituals so horrifying, most historians refuse to talk about them. Tonight, you'll see the truth Egypt tried to bury for 3,000 years. And it's worse than death. They called it a sacred honor. But for the chosen temple virgins of ancient Egypt, it was a fate whispered only in nightmares. What priests did behind these walls was not worship, it was something far darker, something worse than death. To the world outside, Egypt's temple maidens were symbols of purity, women chosen by the gods themselves. They sang hymns, tended sacred fires, and kept the temples spotless. But their lives were not their own. Every breath, every movement, was controlled by the priests, men who claimed divine authority. At sunset on the new moon, the chosen virgins underwent a ceremony known only as the Night of Binding. Scrolls describe it as a spiritual union with the gods. But fragments hint at something far more disturbing: rituals involving blood, silence, and the breaking of vows that could never be spoken aloud. Modern archaeologists found traces of this secret order in the ruins of Karnak. Small rooms sealed off from the main temple, with symbols warning outsiders to stay away. Inscriptions spoke of the pure ones who were taken into the darkness to serve Ra in silence. No burial sites were ever found for them. Why erase their faces? Why hide their names? Because what happened inside those sanctuaries was never meant to be remembered. These virgins were not brides of the gods. They were sacrifices to human desire masked as divine law. Ritual texts reveal an unthinkable truth. The priests performed acts they claimed would purify the soul through suffering. Some victims were never seen again. Others lived on as silent servants, their tongues symbolically buried to seal their vows. Imagine being chosen at 12, never seeing your family again. Your voice erased, your faith twisted against you. The temples that promised eternal peace became cages of fear. Centuries later, these stories resurfaced, not in temple archives, but in personal diaries of Greek travelers. They wrote of young women, offered to the gods, yet never seen again. Egyptian authorities later sealed many temple chambers to prevent looting, and perhaps to bury shame. History may have silenced their names, but not their story. Every stone in those temples whispers the same truth. The price of blind devotion is often paid in innocence. The priests called it divine sacrifice. The victims called it duty. But when faith turns to fear and holiness becomes horror, only truth can set them free. If you want more forbidden stories from the ancient world, subscribe and let history speak its darkest truths once more.